Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The regular meeting of the Texarkana, Arkansas Planning Commission is called to order. Agendas are available on the rail, so please help yourself. We will take the items as they are listed on the agenda. I will read each item and ask the person representing the request to come forward to the podium. Please state your name and address for the recording secretary. Present any information and make any comments you have about your request. Be prepared to respond to any questions that members of the Planning Commission may have. Roll call.
Anderson Neal,
Here.
Mike Jones, absent. Boots Thomas,
Present.
Jason Dupree,
Here.
Dr. Hickerson,
Here.
Adger Smith,
Present.
All righty, we have
Don't pay attention over there.
5 of the 7 members present, and we have a quorum. Item number 2, adoption of the summarized minutes of the March 12, 2024 meeting.
Move to adopt.
Motion to adopt in a second.
Voice vote.
Voice vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Item number 3, rezoning request by Joseph and Kristen Smith, 338 PR 1230, Texarkana, Arkansas 71854, for approval to rezone property located east of 4700 East 9th. Property is not addressed as of yet. From R2 single-family residential to C3 open display commercial in order to operate a landscaping storefront. Property is legally described as part of the northeast fourth of the northwest fourth of Section 27, Township 15 South, Range 28 West, Miller County, Arkansas, and containing 4.76 acres, more or less. This item was tabled from the March 12th meeting.
Move to remove from the table and carry
I'll
on to
second
item
that.
number 3.
We have a motion and a second to remove the item from table from the March meeting. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Let's proceed.
Okay, if you remember from March, this property's on 82, it's east of the VFW, and the issue we had in March, they're asking to rezone it commercial so they can open a landscaping business. The issue we had in March is the owners of this property back here were concerned about rezoning this commercial and what that would open the property up to down the road. They have subdivided the property. This is a lot up here, and they've pushed this lot line as far as they can with regard to the floodplain, and then we have another lot down here. So the discussion in March was to rezone only this commercial and leave this down here zoned residential. There's water. They'll have to have a septic tank because the sewer is 700 feet away, the sewer line. And there is a copy of the plat in your packet. Somebody would share with Anderson.
I'm good.
So it looks like a property line right there.
So by the plat, we've subdivided this property then.
Into 2 lots, right. And I believe, if I'm correct, part of that is for insurance reasons, to keep the floodplain in its own lot.
Yes, I see the map runs right along the boundary of the floodplain.
Right.
Any word from the McNabb family?
Now, the second biggest question here now, since we've talked about doing this, now this is a good plan in my estimation. access to that rear lot, should it ever be used as commercial?
There is a 30-foot access easement that runs down the west side of that property on that plat.
Oh, that's right, I didn't see that, I'm sorry, forgive me. So that would be the de facto driveway back to that property, should it ever be developed? That would require an opaque boundary fence, but that wouldn't be a problem,
I believe we talked about that in March.
okay. All right.
Wait a minute. Where's the R2? Is there a residential property right beside that? Is there, all that's R2 right beside it?
To the east is all R2. To the west, oops, too far. This property, to the east is all R2. The R2 this is the VFW property up here. So their lot line is somewhere right down in here.
That's the landowner, you see a problem.
So I thought it was C3 all the way back on the VFW.
Where's your place?
So the VFW.
That's what's on the zoning map.
So that's what's, the VFW property is split.
You had family property, where?
I assumed it was on the. Okay.
No, I didn't see that. On the map.
That's where the ball field
Okay.
were.
I got you.
And they may have split their property for the same reason, because they've got a floodplain in the back of their
That's
property
much
too.
larger than that original. There. Yeah, I remember going out there. All right,
Any more questions?
I move for approval.
I have a motion to approve in a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Jason Dupree.
Yes.
Boots Thomas.
Yes.
Badger Smith.
Yes.
Dr. Hickerson.
Yes.
And Anderson Eagle.
Yes.
We will get you a letter out tomorrow. This will go to the Board of Directors the first Monday in May. So, but I'll get you a letter out with all that on it tomorrow.
Okay. All right, item number 4, rezoning request by Colin Coon, 6211 Tennessee Road, Texarkana, Arkansas, 71854, to rezone the property located at 6103 Mount Olive, Texarkana, Arkansas, 71854, from C4 to a planned unit development for the purposes of constructing townhouses. The property is legally described as part northeast, northwest, southwest of Section 5, Township 15 South, Range 28 West, Texarkana, Miller County, Arkansas, containing .212 acres more or less. Is that 2.12? Okay.
Okay, this is the property here. So this is Jefferson right here. And this is McDonald. I was saying, I had Woodway on my mind. This is McDonald, and then Mount Olive runs back here. So this is the property right here. It is currently zoned C4. The property to the east of it is C1. If you know this area, there's a little barbecue place there that's open like one day a month. And then the property right next to it is zoned, this is gonna drive me crazy, is zoned R1, and then all of this is R2. So Mr. Kuhn has asked to do a planned unit development to build 12 townhouses. We settled on that in a large way for the peace of mind of the neighbors, knowing that it was going to be townhouses and it was not going to end up being developed into something else down the road. There is water and sewer on the east side of the property. And you have in your packet a plat. Roger and Tyler have both looked at this, and they're good with it. The one thing we have to decide when we do a planned unit development is what the setbacks are. They have drawn this plat with a 15-foot setback. And I believe Mr. Kuhn is here.
Is that 15 foot, is that enough?
Tyler and Roger are okay with it.
They are? Okay. Part of it looks like 25 foot.
Well, I think it's just that, it's that northwest corner
Yeah.
and then the northeast
Southwest
corner.
Yeah, yeah. Southeast corner.
And as you know, this property that was Zone C4 over there has never really been developed the way we hoped it would be.
I guess y'all discuss parking.
Do you want to talk about, are there garages in the back?
Yeah.
The garages are in the back of the property.
Correct, there'll be garages in the rear,
A single-car garage.
single car garage, and then each unit will have 2 parking spaces behind it.
Okay. And
You
then
know,
you've
we're
got,
trying to keep the front of it, it's all about presentation on the front there, have a good, clean look on the front, where they can utilize the sidewalk and everything. The sidewalk that I think the city put in a few years ago up there, just to have a clean presentation there.
If you would, state your name and just
Yeah, Colin Kuhn, is that
address.
an address? 6211 Tennessee Road, Texarkana, Arkansas. We're trying to keep as much green space there as we can, just have it family-friendly, and with the school just down the road, try to keep that all, keep everything nice. It's going to be a Class A rental property. Rents will be between $1,500 and $1,700 a month, is what we're seeing. There'll be 2-bedroom plan and a 3-bedroom plan.
approximate square
The
footage.
square foot is going to be 1118 on the 2-bedroom and 1327 on the 3-bedroom.
Single story or two-story?
There'll be 2-story, yes, sir. Garage on the lower floor, and then we'll build up from that.
How many of each, 2 and 3 are you going to?
There will be 8 of the 2-bedroom and 4 of the 3-bedroom.
There's something like this over on the Texas side behind the eye doctor over there, where, what's the name of the Ironwood Grill? To the
Okay.
south of Ironwood Grill, there's something similar to this. It really looks nice.
Okay,
over
yeah,
there.
that's,
I don't know who- I
And
don't
we-
Curve is actually going to be.
yeah, and a couple of years ago, we built the townhomes across from the fairgrounds
Oh, okay.
over there, so we're trying to keep the same thing in mind, good presentation, and just keep the property clean, looking nice, and everything like
This
that.
fills up pretty fast, doesn't it?
They did. We're happy about that, and I think there's still a good need for it right now, so, from what we're seeing, so.
Any questions from the commissioners? Thank you.
Do you have any, do you have a presentation of the building? Could we see what the building looks like? Do you have
I don't have anything,
nothing on that yet?
not on that yet. I can get bids. Yeah, I don't have anything
Okay, that's fine.
concrete.
Go over to Ironwood and eat, and went down that side street there. That's probably what it looked like.
Okay. Brick or siding or what?
It'll be a mixture of brick and siding.
Okay.
Yep.
Composition roof, that kind of thing?
Yes, sir.
Will you have a porch out front or just a doorway, entranceway, or?
There'll be a stoop out front, where it'll be built in with an overhang. The front door's kind of set back.
Okay.
And then on the rear, there'll be a porch on the 3-bedroom with a small fenced-in area on the 3-bedroom, and then the 2-bedroom will have a porch upstairs.
And you said single-car garage?
Yes,
With
sir.
a driveway?
Yes, sir.
Now, you're calling the front porch toward Mount Olive.
The front porch will be towards McDonald Lane.
No, okay,
Yep.
okay.
And then the rear will be the access road that we would put in
Let's
there.
change the whole thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you be, I don't see any indication of sidewalks out to the sidewalk. You won't have that?
There will be, yes, sir.
Okay. Very good.
I think that's very fitting for the area itself.
I had a question for Tyler.
Thank you.
I heard Jamie say that you'd looked over all of this and you were happy with it. The retention pond is adequate?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't done the design yet, but there's plenty of space for it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the setback off the actual curb of the highway, or curb of the street, the road, McDonald, from the curb back to the buildings is going to be roughly about 30 foot overall. Then you got the sidewalk,
Yeah,
right?
probably. Yeah.
From the curb, it should be more than that, because there's a pretty healthy easement that the city has
Yeah, yeah.
in the front there. I think it's about 15 feet
Well,
is
you're
what the city
15,
has.
you're 15 foot off the city easement, that's
And
your
then-
boundary line.
And then
right?
and then most of the building there will be at least 25 feet off of that, yes.
Yes,
Yeah, you're talking even more than that. You're probably talking at least 20 foot from that curb to their property line. So their setback would be another 15 foot behind that.
yeah.
So that's why I wasn't too concerned about it. There's plenty of room there.
Well, given what they're doing and then what the city already has there, it gives, the buildings are further back from the street than what the dimensions might indicate.
Right.
That's what I was getting at, okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they're back there
Tyler, since you're out here, you're sure in that area, this won't create any drainage problems for
No.
any other property that's around?
I've got no problems downstream from there. So that water's flowing, back to the west. You've got all your residential development to the east here. I've got a little bit of a problem just to the east of this point, but, this development doesn't affect that.
Well, that's a hill drainage where this is going anyway, right at the end of that, where the road goes down.
Yeah, and plus, they're already planning on detention, so, the detention requirements is that, this property not release any more water than it's releasing now pre-development, so it can't make it any worse.
Got it.
And it won't dam up the problems across the street?
No, the problems across the street are flowing to the north,
Okay.
and we're working on that issue now. We did a little bit of work, a couple of months ago, on a little swell that goes down into the pond back there where it's backing up. That's cleared up a little bit, but we still have some more work to do right there. But yeah, this development has no effect there.
As far as traffic goes, Tyler, does the city have any, or do you have any future plans for an improvement of Mount Olive Drive right there? Because this new subdivision we did last year that's going to exit out into Mount Olive, that street has already become a cut through.
Yes, and I'm slowly working on that. The north side, I did a good bit of cement stabilization, and some chip seal. I'm sorry, on the north side of McDonald. On the south side of McDonald, next to this development, we have already pulverized and done some grading. We're just
Yeah.
out there Friday, did some more grading work, but we've got some big sinking and pavement work to do.
What do you want to do to that eventually?
I'd love to put a 2-inch asphalt surface on it eventually.
Curbs and gutters and all that, or what?
They won't get curb and gutter.
Okay.
Not in the near foreseeable future, because, that's a little too big of a dream there. But I do have quite a bit of ditch work to do.
Yeah.
On Mount Olive, to the south of McDonald. But probably what I'll do is I'll chip seal it for now until we can go in and pave it.
Yeah. Well, I don't need to remind you about the traffic that's gonna be on it, so, but anyway, I just was curious what you had hopefully planned to do in the future to improve that, so, okay, great. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
All right.
All I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone here that opposes the project and like to speak? Come forward and state your name, address.
Hello, my name is Darrell Dillard. I live at 1705 Castle Oaks. It's right behind where he's trying to build, and my concern is, well, I've talked to my neighbors and showed them. It seems kind of funny that I'm the only one that got this as far as the whole neighborhood goes, which I don't see why they have a reason to tell me why they didn't have it. But my concern would be for the traffic, because right now, that new development right now, as far as it being like my backyard, cars steady moving. I did like the new walkway that walks out to Jefferson and back. I use it, my wife uses it, my daughter goes with us, let her ride her bicycle, she's 6. Of course, you see people jogging and walking. The next thing was when y'all was talking about the flooding. I don't know where y'all got that from, but when it rains hard, there's been cars just flood out right there because it's so high. And that's when it's not crossing the road to the creek. And when it's not doing that, I've had to pay extra money to have my yard dug out in the back so it will flow out, because what flows down through there comes in my backyard. I'm new to this. This is my first time coming here doing this, but it's not my first time knowing about these 15-foot injunctions and 20-foot, because if you look at the picture, they got me like this years ago when they put up that spark light tower. Of course, it was in my property deal, but they didn't have to tell me nothing because they had that injunction or whatever, so they just started pulling up, tearing up, digging, running. Man, and it just seems like every other weekend, I got 2 trucks back there working on something. Same way with the barbecue place. When it's open, okay, it's fine that they're over there cooking, but the noise, the speakers, and everything there, it's a big party. And like I said, I'm living right there. And if that little noise gets going once a month, once every other month, I could imagine townhomes, 2-story houses. Me and my neighbor, we've already put up the 8-foot fences because it's on a hill coming down, so you see in our yards. My concerns are just what little privacy and quiet that we do have, and with them being up high, everybody just looking down in your yard. The privacy's gone.
Where exactly is your house?
Right behind where the green area is. If you pull it up, I'll show you. Hey, okay. Yep.
So right there's the pointer.
Okay.
You on the cul-de-sac?
Right here.
Oh, okay.
Right there.
I thought that's where you were.
Yeah, my neighbor beside me right here, they didn't know about it. Everybody else I told about, of course, it's spring break, so kids are gone, they're gone, and everything. I said, hey, if y'all want to show up, at least please come, because, they're against it too, because of the noise and the traffic.
Yeah.
What is your neighbor's address?
I'm 1705, the neighbor's 1709, and the other one beside me,
They were all sent letters.
like I said, I'm just saying, when I went and said, hey, are y'all coming to this? Oh, man, what's that? And then I show them, and we ain't never seen that. I don't know who, that's just what I was told.
We sent out 16 letters, 5
Yeah.
of them were to Castle Oaks.
And as I went down, because, it's a nice community. Everybody be outside, we go out and meet, we talk, do in our yard and everything. Everybody's real nice. What was that? Lost my train of thought, and I'm just not for it, just because I don't want to lose what other privacy I do have, and it's quiet, and it's a nice neighborhood, and I'm not sure what else.
If you don't mind if I ask Mr. Dillard's a question?
Sure.
Where was
Right in the, when it goes over the road,
Which road?
Mount Olive.
Whereabouts in here? Like directly?
Yeah, the road, yeah,
Okay, yeah, so that was some of the drainage work that I was talking about. We've got some significant ditch work to do alongside of Mount Olive. So when we come in there and actually put a surface on that road, we've got a lot of ditch work to do through there as well.
Okay.
But this,
And then, and then like right in front where, like right there, yeah, that's where it gets real deep and cars will hit it and stall out and,
you're thinking of up here.
no, right here.
I live on McDonald Lane as well,
Is it-
just right down the road. You're thinking of right there where that intersection
When
flows.
it comes down, is that it?
That's it up here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Mount Olive. That section right there, that intersection doesn't flow. It's the Timber Creek.
It's the, okay, well, yeah, well, I know right there on that back where it comes over.
With it, this property flows in the opposite direction. So nothing done on that property is going to influence towards your side of Mount Olive.
Okay, I'll just, all right. So now, I'm pretty sure I have something else to say, but I just, I at least wanted to come for the neighborhood, because it's like,
Sure.
yeah, everybody I talked to, just, this was the first they were seeing. They might have took the letter, just threw it away, didn't recognize, I don't know, but I at least wanted to come and say something, because I know we got several people against it, but if it takes letters and signatures, and that's what it'll be.
But you're also missing traffic. What, you see this presenting a lot of,
No, there's a new, they're building more houses. If you come down the road right here, all the
That's a
building, yeah,
subdivision that we approved last summer.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, all the big trucks and everything, the dozers and all that they're doing to create that, you know, yeah, but, you know, for the houses, we know that. Just,
Well, that's why I was interested in what we were gonna do to upgrade Mount Olive, because once that subdivision is complete, in several years down the road, once the interest rate gets where people will be wanting to build anything anymore, that will be an outlet going to McDonald's to get on out to the rest of the world. So that street will have to have some upgrades over time.
okay,
We
and,
were concerned about that. Everybody that lives in that neighborhood puts up with a lot of traffic. That's just part of living in a neighborhood, but you don't want it to be so that it creates a problem for the city as well as the people that live there.
and, it's just been a good place where you could actually take your kids, walk a dog and everything,
Oh, yeah,
and there hasn't been no
yeah.
problems, and just, I'm not saying, you know, you keep bringing in more, and then eventually it'll happen, but right now it's good, but my other concern, it's not really a concern, but I pretty much bet you if it was 2 more blocks up the road, we probably wouldn't even be here having this discussion. 'cause,
Right.
You know, Sugar Hill ain't going for that, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't even, like, we wouldn't be here right now if it was just 2 blocks up the road.
Understand.
So, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
You,
Anyone else? Come forward, state your name.
Hi, my name is Corey Mobbs. I live at 6118 Timber Creek. I'm also one of the administrators of our neighborhood Facebook group. And when the letter was posted on our neighborhood Facebook group, everyone started asking questions. And so I drove as fast as I could to get up here to answer their questions. So the questions are, will the house be Section 8 or HUD?
Not at $1,200 a month.
The next question was, with it being mixed residential, what's the impact on single-family homes in the neighborhood financially?
Our best guess estimate that if the project's done correctly and maintained correctly, and it's not an integral part of the neighborhood, there'll be no impact.
Okay. The next question was the 16 letters that were sent out. 5 were sent to Castle Oaks. Where were the other ones sent?
Letters are sent to everyone that lives within 300 feet. of the
300
property.
feet, okay.
And they are sent to the property owner's address, which
Okay.
they may not live in that area.
Gotcha.
So one of the owners is on West Nine. There were 5 sent to Castle Oaks. That was in Garland, Texas. One of the owners is on Fifth, well, actually, she's deceased, but it was sent to her family. Then there were 3 sent to Mount Olive Drive and 1 sent to Timber Creek.
1 sent to Timber Creek. What was that address? That's where I'm at.
6410.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, now I know who that is. Okay.
But they are sent to the owner's address and not, which may not necessarily be who lives in that home.
Gotcha.
It's rented or.
The next question was, did Jeff Hart approve of this?
That's the next step.
That's the next step.
That's the next step.
Gotcha, okay.
Whatever recommendation we give here goes to the board of directors.
Gotcha, okay. Well, thank you from the Facebook group.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Any more questions from the commissioners?
I've got one comment. His project, and it's for the lady with the Facebook page. His project, he's done stuff with us before. He has a project on Fair Park there, across the street from basically the fairgrounds. It's a not a duplex, but a townhome apartment deal. It's very well done, and it's not, trashy, and it's kept up well, and good people living there, and it was well received in the community. So, like I say, we do trust what he has told us, because he's done it before.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, the chair would entertain a
Mr. Chairman, I was chairman on this board when we were considering the C4 zone, as Adger was on the board with me, and you were too, and all of us except yourself, of course. But that was a full year's worth of hard deliberation, and there were definitely sides.
Arm twisting, too.
Arm twisting, and there was a line drawn in the sand. My position was concerning the properties along Mount Olive is that people live there, and we were going to C4 zone their property and make their property a non-conforming use, which meant that they couldn't even add on to their house if they wanted to. But it was an ambitious plan, and we worked out a comparable agreement. So my position is that any opportunity that we get to take back some of that C4 zone in the residential areas that pre-existed that C4 zone is a good plan. Because if you're worried about a townhouse residential area on that property, you would really be concerned about a commercial use on that property. So being able to snatch that back and make an appropriate residential use for appropriate residential land, as opposed to C4 commercial, when there's plenty of other properties in that section available, it is, in my estimation, a good plan. Having said that, I move for approval of the rezoning.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the request for rezoning.
Is there a setback well, this is a PUD. We're rezoning to a PUD, so the setbacks are part of the plat. Is that not right?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
So that wouldn't need to be involved? Let me look, maybe I did it wrong. You may be right. No, it's not part of it. So, I move to rezone this C4 zone to a PUD zone.
Motion and second to rezone this PUD request. Roll call.
Mr. Dupree,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas,
Yes, sorry.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Dr. Hickerson,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
and Chairman Anderson Neal.
Yes. There was-
And that will go to the board of directors first, and a letter will go out to you.
Will we have further action on that? Once the rezone, will there be a preliminary plat? We'll have two other actions, won't we?
Preliminary plats here.
Okay. Well,
Now, we didn't approve the preliminary plat. All we approved was the rezoning. Right, Tyler? And that's part of the PUD, isn't it?
With the planned unit development, you have to approve the site plan.
Okay.
And, yeah, so y'all are approving the rezoning at this time.
the site plan will be another issue, won't it?
Yeah.
I believe y'all doing the site plan at the same time.
Can we?
I know, I don't see why not.
That wasn't part of the request.
Request,
But he's got his site plan in there.
Yes, I saw that, yes,
It wasn't part
yes.
of the request, it was just a rezoning request.
When we did, what was another one we did?
Does Boots need to go back and amend his?
Well, every other time we've done a PUD, there was the zone, and then there was a site plan and a final approval,
Okay.
because those things are subject to changing as construction moves along.
Yeah, if they alter at all from the site plan that y'all approved, yes, they have to come back and get approval.
There's no mention of the site plan in here, even though they do have the plat available.
Chief, what you say?
That's a plat, but it's not actually a site plan. Site plan would include information on lighting and a number of other things. This is a good plat, though.
Do that on the next deal? Yeah, we'll do that on the next deal. That's what we want to look at it again. That's what That's what I'm saying.
I think Donnie Seeley has set some precedents on this before. By what we did over there with his deal, where he changed.
Razorback
the
Drive.
Razorback deal, where we approved things, we did it kind of like this, and then he came back and did all these changes. We had to go back and reapprove.
Yeah.
So can we come back and approve the plot at the next meeting?
We might could do that in another motion, maybe, if this is appropriate. If Tyler's taking this for a site plan. All this is a basic layout plan.
Okay, so what the ordinance says is a general plan of development.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily have to be an exact site plan. It says a general plan of development at a level of detail sufficient to indicate to the city the nature and scope of the project.
Got it?
So and that's kind of what I took it as. It's not an engineered site plan. It's a general idea. So there are building locations, the every single detail on it. But, I mean, that's up to y'all, what y'all are comfortable with. You know, if they were to take that and then, turn in their engineer plans to me, with a different layout, the buildings removed or anything, I would say no.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
Come back to planning commission for that.
Right.
You're changing stuff up.
Well, it's always been my understanding on a PUD that the planning commission had a lot of leeway. If they took a look at the site plan and wanted it changed or modified, something moved around, added on, taken away, different accesses, different more parking, this or that, we had that authority to be able to make adjustments or to ask for adjustments.
Correct.
Uh,
That's my understanding as
This is a small development, so it's not complicated. It's not anything really bizarre, and this plat looks to me like to be sufficient as an engineering design for what he's going to do. So, given what you've just said, if he comes back to you with a final plat, we'll consider this the preliminary plat. If he comes back with a final plat approval, which we'll need, and there's any subsequent changes or significant changes, then we'll need to sign off on that, I would think. Wouldn't you, Adrian?
That's
So-
pretty much the way we've done it
well.
before.
So the ordinance is that you have, the rezoning and the preliminary plat submission, which is what y'all are supposed to handle right here. And then upon approval of the zoning request by the city board, the applicant may proceed with the preparation of his final plan and plat.
Okay,
So then that final plat would have to come back to you.
Right.
yep.
But so y'all are approving, if y'all approve tonight, you are approving or denying the rezoning as well as the general plan development.
I think we just approved it.
Yeah.
I think we just approved it.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to clarify what is actually
Yeah.
being
Okay.
approved. But yes, it will have to come back for final plat.
Right.
Okay, so
It won't have to go back to the board.
No, it doesn't have to go back to the board after
It would just
final.
have to come back to y'all for final plat.
So we're going to, for the record, take our approval tonight as an approval for, number one, the rezoning to a PUD, and number two, the initial plat approval.
Correct.
Okay,
Let the record state.
all right, thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Any more questions?
Well,
No, we're
That
through.
is it.
I thi-
Item
think-
5.
yes, item number 5.
Okay, so this other thing that we have on the agenda is, if you looked in your packets, we ran across an issue with the way we have set up permitted uses for medical-related businesses. So currently in the ordinance, it says clinic, dental, medical, or osteopathic, or chiropractic is a use by right in those 4 zones. Then it says medical clinic, including 24-hour, is a use by right in C4 and C4 overlay. And then it says medical offices, including but not limited to. So we ran up on this issue where we were like, where does this fall in here? What is the difference between a clinic and an office? And so we ran up on that problem. So Tyler and Roger and I talked about it and talked about consolidating it into something that made more sense. And we really felt that emergency care clinics that are open later or 24 hours really were the one-off in all of this. And we have them listed up here as a use by right in C4 and C4 overlay. So we left that, but made them conditional use and everything else. And then the other ones were used by right in O1, C1, C2, and C3, and then they were conditional use in that. So really, we just consolidated this one here and this one here. And we made this one emergency clinics. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Trying to clear up some of this stuff that we're running across. Ashley, I see you pointing at me.
Do I hat move? Is that what happened? C4 overlay. We all know where that is.
That's in the middle of the C4 zone. That was
Yeah.
going to be a PUD kind of thing.
Yeah. And in the C4 zone, it looked to me like that's one of these clinics, one of these overnight clinics, that'd be a good place for one of them right out there.
In the middle of the woods.
In the middle of the woods, yeah. You know, with access, the access that area has. You know.
Well, you know, the
wh-
C,
Why,
the C,
why exclude them? I mean, give me a good reason why.
I just took what was already in there and.
'Cause it was already there.
So I am open to, this is,
well, the C4 overlay, if I remember the plat and where those were located, that was part of that 300 acres. It was belonged up at the north
Yeah.
that we fenced off for that guy.
Yeah.
And then Wamak had some land kind of in the center
Right.
toward on the bottom half, southern half, to the west.
And we left.
And then he had the part where the school is now. We left that C4 overlay so you could go in there with PUDs.
Or leave it the zone that it was the way I understood it. That was the thing that got Mr. Womack to approve that.
Well, the C4 zone was not going to allow him to do what he wanted to do, which is to build some townhouse apartments, perhaps nursing homes or assisted living communities. It wouldn't allow that, but the C4 overlay would,
Right, that's exactly.
as a PUD within the C4 overlay. So if you want to put a medical clinic or an emergency clinic in the C4 overlay, it would only be appropriate as a PUD, part of another development. And there's no roads or access in there currently,
Yeah.
but there could be. Making it a use by right in the C4 would be appropriate. I would suggest make it a conditional use in the overlay.
That's what I'm thinking.
talking about the emergency.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. Yeah,
Okay, so you want it conditional use in C4.
where that last.
Overlay.
Overlay, far.
Not in the C4, but the C4 overlay.
All right, we'll leave it a use by right. in
Yeah.
C4.
The C4 overlay, as I said, was a plan in order to develop PUDs in there that you could do non-commercial uses.
Yeah.
Because we had a major landowner that owned a huge part of that property that was taking real offense at us taking his property away from him and not allowing him to do what he needed to do with it. So making it a C4 overlay would allow for some PUD development, which would be consistent with everything else going on out there. So I'd say make it, the emergency clinics a conditional use in the C4 overlay and a use by right in the C4. That's probably part of our definitions in C4 anyway. We spent a year on that. I ought to remember everything about it.
I don't know, I got thrown off.
Be glad you weren't here. It was testing.
I know.
Wow, that was fun. All right, that answer your question?
And I did get thrown off.
Yes,
because
we want to vote on that. This will be a change to the ordinance.
Yes.
All right, I move for the appropriate changes that you proposed, with the exception of the emergency care clinics to be a conditional use in the C4 zone overlay.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to make the appropriate changes to the ordinance. Any questions? Further comments?
Jason?
Yes.
Boots?
Yes.
Adger?
Yes.
Dr. Hickerson?
Yes.
And Chairman Neal?
Yes.
I have two other things. One, I left an application on there of a gentleman that was given to me by one of the directors. We have, I believe, 2 more weeks that we're gonna run the ad in the paper to fill Bertha's vacancy. Velvet has
heard through the grapevine.
please point them in our direction.
Heard through the grapevine.
The other issue that was brought to me today, two of the board members who enjoy attending our meetings, along with Adra and myself, have a conflict on Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock on the second Tuesday of every month. The board members asked if we would consider moving our meeting to a different evening.
Such as?
Well, Wednesday is a problem for some people because they go to church on Wednesday.
Yeah, Thursdays.
So Monday night is, we could do.
Can't do that.
Yeah, okay, so that leaves us Thursdays.
Monday night will be quorum court.
Oh, that's right. So that leaves us Thursdays.
So we would change from Tuesday, the second Tuesday, to the second Thursday.
It's fine with me, if it matters.
Jamie, does that hurt with any of the notifications or any of the time frames that we have to work under? Would it put an undue stress on?
No, because we're actually pushing it further out.
Okay, so that actually would give us more time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I won't change the agenda closing dates.
Okay. But it gives you more working time
Right.
for
The agenda
notification.
closes- Right, the agenda closes on Tuesday, we send in the legal notice on Thursday, we send out the notification letters on Friday, and then the legal notice runs on Sunday. So that actually gives us, 2 more days in the cycle.
Just as likely to be gone on a Thursday as a Tuesday, so.
But, and we had
I don't-
discussed.
Well, you're the
moving
only
it to
one,
4 o'clock.
you're the only one
I'm
with
the only one with the job.
gainful employment.
We had discussed moving it to 4 o'clock, but I said, well, Jason works.
Yeah.
That keeps Jason out, so.
Let's have them at noon.
Well, historic district means at 9:30, so. Okay, this doesn't require an ordinance change or a change in the bylaws.
It does not require any kind of change.
The bylaws just say in accordance with Arkansas annotated code, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, let me throw this at you. One of the directors and I were talking just before I came up here, and he was gonna speak with, about the conflict tonight at their meeting. And he was wanting them, he thought the solution was for them to move their meeting to Thursday. So if we do approve this and say, okay, let's do it contingent upon the other party not moving their meeting, the conflicting meeting.
So what other conflicting meeting was,
You know, I'm gonna be JP. Okay?
hmm?
I'm gonna be JP. And that's part of it.
Oh,
So we will agree to not move it yet until we hear.
Hear from them.
Okay, all right.
That was the last word I got from
That's all I.
one of the directors. So,
but for the record, Thursday would be okay with me.
Yeah.
I'll come by and get you. I'm still retired.
All right, next meeting is May 14th, 20,
Maybe.
I do have one other question for y'all, and this is a simple question.
Huh?
Do you prefer having a paper copy of the packets, or would you rather have it emailed? And then you would have a tablet for the meeting, just like the board does?
It's hard for me to do the computer in my retirement.
Okay, and that's what I assumed, but I promised that I would ask. Okay, all right, we'll stick with
Can't even
paper
use yourself.
packets.
Make it easy on yourself, James.
Whatever, Jamie, whatever you
My
want.
grandkids
No, we'll
love it.
stick with paper packets.
I don't tell.
have a motion, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. All right.
Third.
Aye.